Alright, magandang araw sa inyong lahat. Ring Roadmap PH nagbabalik para sa isa na namang prediction video. Matagal-tagal na yung last natin, so medyo na-miss kong gumawa ng video. Medyo na busy lang tayo sa mga ibang bagay outside of boxing. Pero nandito na ulit tayo at ipa-breakdown natin ngayon yung magiging laban ni Charly Suarez versus Navarrete. Something which I think mas maganda sana to kung nangyari 3 to 4 or even 5 years ago. This was a fight, or this is possibly a fight that will be a little bit more close, a little bit tighter kung nangyari ito nung mga nakaraang taon. Pero nandito na at ipe-predict natin yung araw na to kung ano yung palagay ko, okay? So one thing that we see a lot with Charly is he loves to move back. He loves to bait you into something wild, and then he will take a small step back, sabay ka-counter. So tingin tayo ng mga ganong halimbawa dito. So here you would see him just walk forward, sabay atras. Tapos dito siya counter ng kanyang jab or other power punches. Okay, now let's look at some more step backs here. Again, you're gonna see him just lean forward a little bit. Sabay, boom, counter doon. Pepreno siya all of a sudden. So, sometimes he would take one big step back, or minsan, he would take a series of small steps, mga maliliit na hakbang patras, tapos pepreno siya, at dun siya magpa-plant ng kanyang paa, dun niya ibabato yung counter, as you can see here. So, a couple of small steps, and then he would throw that counter cross. And then here you would see him not only step back, pero mag-slip din. Okay, so he starts off right there with a jab to the body, sabay right hand up top, tapos nag-up jab siya, sabay pivot palabas. Okay, great footwork here by Charly. This is gonna be a tricky one because if you look at the offense ni Navarrete, he likes to gazelle his way in. And if you guys don't know, or if you guys are not familiar with the gazelle punch, it's basically when your feet come together. So yung back foot mo ay lalapit sa front foot, and you will throw your punch by closing your stance basically. So ano yung nangyayari kapag nagkakaroon or kapag mabat yung kalaban ng gazelle punch? It is much harder to dodge a punch kapag gazelle when you're just stepping back. You're gonna have to gallop backwards para madepensahan yung gazelle punch ng kalaban. So for Charly, the step back, I would argue, will actually be more harmful than good for him, because although it will open up a lot of counter punching opportunities, in Navarrete kasi he doesn't come in like a normal forward step. He doesn't come in with a normal forward step. He takes one big step forward sometimes he smothers himself, paminsan-minsan sobra yung hakbang niya pa abante. So at best, if you're gonna step back, if you're Charly Suarez, at best you're gonna have Navarrete smother himself instead of actually being able to counter him. Okay, so the best option here for Charly, I would say, is not to step back. Wag hakbang ng patras, because you will be timed by the gazelle punches. You will be timed by the fancy footwork ni Navarrete, by the fancy angles. Kasi nangyayari dito kay Charly, kapag umatras siya, kapag nag-step back siya, ay pumepreno siya doon. So he plants his feet there, and then he tries to throw his counter off of that. But that's not gonna be enough against a guy like Navarrete. Navarrete will throw a series of punches. He will throw 1, 2, pause, 2, 3, tapos magpo-pause na naman siya doon. He would stay at that same spot. He would fake you out. And for a very, I wouldn't say twitchy, but for someone na talagang gumagamit ng upper body movement like Charly, he will bite on those feints. I can already see it coming. He will bite on those feints. He will try to pull back. He will try to slip. He will try to use his head movement whenever Navarrete feints. So he's gonna get in big trouble here if he tries to just step straight back. He will have to either just stay where he is, allow Navarrete to smother himself, or go all the way back with a gallop, or use lateral movement. He cannot step straight back kasi maabutan pa rin siya ni Navarrete sa haba ni Navarrete, and then he also has the footwork to top that off. So ayun, yun lang naman yung isang bagay na tingin ko will affect this fight in a huge way. Kapag nag-step back itong si Charly, paano yung tatimingan ni Navarrete, or will he step back at all? For me, wag na mag-step back. You either gallop backwards, you either move side to side, slip, and then pivot around him. Huwag na mag-step back because you will get caught with those gazelle punches. Okay, now let's look at the 2-1. He likes to come in with the 2-1 a lot. So, hindi lang si Navarrete ang marunong mag-gazelle. Also, si Charly. So, dito makita nyo, it's actually not a gazelle. It's just a basic 2-1 there. Pero paminsan-minsan, bumabato rin naman ng gazelle punch itong si Charly. Though not as often as Navarrete. Let's look at some more examples here. So, here he will lead with the right. Wala nang follow-up yun. He will lead with the right hand. And then he will move away. Good tactic right here against Navarrete because Navarrete is kind of prone to that right hand, especially when he tries to use the long guard. Ang dapat lang ingatan ni Charly dito siguro is to not overreach because Navarrete does have that check hook kapag nag-overreach yung kalaban gamit yung kanan, as we have seen or as we saw doon sa laban niya kay Oscar Valdez. Oscar Valdez will overreach with the right hand, tapos itong si Navarrete babalikan niya or kakounterin niya gamit yung check hook. So just don't overreach. You can snap that and then move away, and that's gonna be really helpful for Charly in this fight. Now, speaking of check hook, we have also seen Charly get hit a lot with a check hook. So we're gonna see that here. Let's look at this example. Boom, he throws an uppercut, and that's one of the main reasons why, because he likes to lead with the uppercut. Even though it's an awkward position, even though it's not the best range to throw it in. So that's what you're gonna see here. So let's look at this example. He likes to lead with the uppercut from a long range, and then he would normally follow that up with a hook, okay? It's a very common mistake kasi sa gym, diba? If we look at some of the basic combos that coaches teach us, talagang tinuturo sa atin yung 6-3-2. Kahit walang setup, 6-3-2. So rear uppercut, right uppercut, left hook, right hand. So tingin ko ganun yung nangyari kay Charly. He's very comfortable with throwing the rear uppercut kahit out of range siya or kahit initial punch siya. Hindi talaga yan yung first option when it comes to leading with a punch. But Charly makes it work sometimes, especially kapag mid-range. But again, it's very prone to the left hook when you throw it or when you miss it. And that's what we saw with that example. Let's look at another one here. Here's gonna be more of a southpaw stance. Yes, he does switch sometimes. Paminsan-minsan nag-switch sa southpaw itong si Charly. And when he does so, he tends to drop that lead hand, that left hand. And he doesn't step back on time. Right there. So let's see another one here. So 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. And this one is a flurry right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, or 1, 2, 3, 6, 3. So jab, cross hook, uppercut, hook. Now, one of the main habits na talaga madadala mo sa pro kapag galing ka sa amateur, just like Charly, is the arm punches, the slaps. We cannot remove that kasi essential part yun ng amateur boxing. Kailangan talaga hindi lahat ng suntok mo is thrown with the full body. Hindi ka gaya sa pros na pwede mo gamitin yung buong katawan mo, pwede mo ilagay yung buong timbang mo sa bawat suntok. It's not the same in the amateurs. In the amateurs, you have to throw arm punches kahit fundamentally wrong siya in the book of boxing. And that's what Charly does here. Ano nangyayari kapag mabato tayo ng arm punches? Kapag mabato tayo ng arm punches, we tend to open our guard a little bit more because our arms or our gloves, our fists in particular, is not as connected to our body kapag arm lang yung ginagamit natin sa pag-produce ng power or pag-produce ng speed. So that's exactly what happens with Charly. What happened with Charly on this one, and this is something that happens to him even in other situations. So he would throw a series of punches, so 4 to 5 punch combination. So it would mostly be arm punches, and then because of that, he tends to get loose with his guard, and then he gets caught in between those flurries. Another skill that we see with Charly is that long guard. So he likes to use a long guard, especially when he's overwhelmed. As you can see here, he's going to extend that lead hand. So in-extend niya yung lead hand niya para ma-maintain yung distansya. And then to try to load up with the cross as well. So bumabuelo siya, medyo tina-turn niya yung katawan niya para makabuelo siya dun sa right hand. Potential counter right hand. But for this one, hindi niya ginawa yun. Let's look at another example here. This is gonna try to... Here, as you can see, he started off with a high guard and then he will transition papunta sa long guard. He will try to do that Mayweather move raising his arms up, sabay atras siya palayo, but there he got caught with a body shot. Something to be wary of because this is not a typical opponent for Suarez. It's a much longer opponent. So the long guard of Suarez, Navarrete can easily reach through it. Navarrete can easily throw his punch long, and kahit pa naka-long guard si Suarez, matatamaan siya. So he has to be careful here. He has to use his footwork. Something na it is a little bit at risk kasi tingin ko 36 na si Charly at the moment. He has to preserve his energy, but at the same time he can't be a sitting duck. So he's faced with a dilemma here. How is he gonna approach it? Is he gonna move around? Is he gonna be using his legs all fight long, or ipe-preserve niya ba to by planting his feet and not moving too much? So that's what we're gonna see with Charly, man. I know that he has a game plan for this one. So let's see this one again. He's gonna try to throw a check hook. Sabay, habang pumipivot siya palabas, he kind of uses a lead hand extension, but not necessarily a long guard there. But here you can see the long guard. You can see him first doing the long guard, sabay granab niya or hinila niya yung ulo ng kalaban niya pasok or palapit sa kanya para hindi makasuntok masyado. So not giving his opponent much space to operate from, and because of that, he was able to take away the power. Now we will look at the pole pivot, natong si Charly. So here you can see him jabbing around, circling around, and then he would take this back foot, pivot palayo. Then let's see another example of that pole pivot. From the southpaw stance naman, so he switches southpaw, and then he jabs, takes that lead foot, and then tries to pivot around. Something look, you can circle one way. One thing about Charly, he likes to circle to the left most of the time, and I think halfway in the fight, Navarrete will be able to figure out his rhythm, his way of circling around, and he'll be catching him with the hooks and body shots while he's circling to the left. So one thing for Charly that's really important, don't just circle one way. You have to give him multiple looks, circle to the right, circle to the left, reverse pivot. Don't just pivot one way, because Navarrete is really adept at timing you on the pivot, timing you on the lateral movement, or if he sees na medyo predictable yung direction ng lateral movement mo, he will time you in that direction. So Charly, he really has to do a good job here of moving both ways, not just the left side, because Navarrete will just throw a right hook over the top or a body shot, a rear hook to the body kapag sa kaliwa lang sumasircle itong si Charly. And then finally, something na nag-open up or nagkakos kay Charly na maging vulnerable paminsan-minsan is yung rear uppercut. So he leads with the rear uppercut. That's what you're gonna see here. He's gonna lead with the rear uppercut. So he's gonna try to move around. So try to move around here. And then try to lead with the uppercut. Very noticeable kasi kapag bago siya bumato ng rear uppercut, he tends to drop this lead hand, which is napaka-normal lang naman. It's a counterbalance thing where you drop your lead hand para bumato ka ng rear uppercut. Pero basang-basa siya minsan, and when he misses, he tends to get countered with that chop and right, okay? Let's see another one. Paminsan-minsan, pwede pa left hook. So again, here, throwing a right uppercut, problem with that is, first of all, you open up the right side of the face, and then secondly, if you're gonna follow up with the left hook, chop and right hand can easily beat you to the punch, or an overhand even. Let's see another one here. Or actually here, he did not lead with a rear uppercut, pero bumato muna siya ng jab, but still, it's an uppercut from long range. Very dangerous, okay? And tingin ko hindi niya na matatanggal tong habit na to. It's a normal combo for him, something that he has mastered pretty much from the amateurs hanggang ngayon. So I don't think he will be able to take that, or he will be able to remove this move completely. But the best thing is, if he's gonna throw the rear uppercut, just throw it at or throw it at mid-range, or even better, throw it on the inside. Don't throw it long range. Don't throw it at a risky position, because Navarrete will just lean back a little bit, pull back, sabay bato ng chopping right over the top, o kaya naman pull, sabay check hook, kapag nagmintas yung mga rear uppercut ito si Charly. Okay, let's get to my prediction now. I got Navarrete via TKO in round 9 or 10. Probably even later than that. I think Charly's footwork will save him for a little while. His lateral movement will save him for a little while. But ultimately, his guard is not as reliable. His footwork might be affected due to his age. And I can see him breaking down in the later rounds, slowing down with his footwork. But at best, he's gonna last until rounds 11 or 12. And he's gonna be stopped there. I think it's gonna be a chopping right that will cause some damage with him. I don't see him getting KO'd with one punch though. It's gonna be an accumulation of punches by Charly. But I still hope, man. I still hope he pulls off the upset. I hope he gets the decision win, and if he does, I'll be more than happy. I'm gonna be very happy to take the L. I'm gonna be very happy to receive all the bashing and all the hateful comments na mali yung prediction ko. But right now, I'm leaning towards Navarrete, man. Rounds 9 to 10. He's gonna be able to time the step backs of Charly, the step back counters of Charly. He's gonna be able to figure out the lateral movement of Charly as well. He's gonna be able to time him on the pivot. He has those subtle feints which will make Charly overreact and exert himself when it comes to his upper body movement and head movement, and that's gonna tire him out eventually. And at the same time, I just don't see any potential punch that can drop Navarrete from Charly. Maybe the left hook, but he already learned, man. He already learned from Liam Wilson nung knockdown siya gamit yung left hook. And look what happened in his fight with Oscar Valdez. He was barely hit with the left hook. So he definitely worked on that already. And so, ayun, round 9 to 10 for Navarrete, but I do hope na manalo yung kababayan natin si Charly. I just wish this happened earlier, like 3 to 4 years ago. Siguro kay Charly pa ako kung 3 to 4 years ago to nangyari. But if it's now, Charly's 36. He tends to slow down a bit in the late rounds based on his last fight, so I would go Navarrete rounds 9 to 10. That was it. Subscribe if you're new. I have a Patreon as well, main channel, and then Instagram. All of those will be down below, and I'll see you guys soon. Peace out.